this thing is going to actually happen. And once the merge actually happens, then I expect like morale is going to go way up, right? Like I basically expect that the merge is going to be kind of not priced in, by which I mean like not even just like market terms, but even just kind of like cycle.
Welcome to King Stock and Crypto Channel.
King, would you invest in Roblox right now?
No, I'm going to wait for stocks to drop again.
Now, I'm not your financial advisor, not financial advice. Please do your own research. We had the market calm down yesterday, the day before, dropped over 1,200 points. You're talking about trillions of dollars off the stock market in one day. And Jim Cramer has the nerve to say Wall Street should stop now is the time to get out. And for the retail investor, if you can't handle that roller coaster ride, I would definitely say now is the time to get out, because we're definitely going to have pumps and dumps in the market. Why do we know this is facts? Because all the central banks are doing the same thing, raising rates and running off the balance sheet. Now we have Biden announces the first round of funds for EV charging network across 35 states, 500,000 charging stations. Guys, I told you they're going to be moving the fourth industrial revolution super fast, over 900 million. And reading is very important because they tell you exactly who's going to be benefiting from this bill. We have ChargePoint, we have Tesla, we have GM, and others. And remember, guys, this is not trading, this is investing. So if you can look 5-10 years down the road, it's going to benefit you. And we all know when you get old like me, we know that 5 and 10 years fly by. So if you're young and listening to this channel, do your research and invest. It will definitely pay off in the long run. Now we have Kevin O'Leary says it's crazy not to invest in China stocks. It makes no sense whatsoever. And you guys know I talk about China stocks all the time. We know the emerging markets are going to rise, and a lot of China's population is in poverty, and they will rise into the middle class. Now we have Tencent secures first China video game license in over 15 months. Now Alibaba is another stock has been taking a hit. A lot of the Chinese stocks have been lower. But again, guys, it's all about investing. When you look at majority of all goods, where are they manufactured? That's correct. Now we have Verizon stock has been dropping. And we know Verizon and AT&T are dividend stocks, and they normally are steady. But don't forget, these two companies have strong unions. So there will be a shakeup over the next 2 years. But remember, guys, there are 5G plays. The fourth industrial revolution does not work without 5G. Now to the big news. We have the railroads may go on strike, and they may delay it until the end. We know how they'll sign a contract right at the last minute. But we definitely do not need this after the issues that we already had with the supply chains that we're finally fixing. And if we roll into this issue, you're talking about $2 billion a day if these railroads stop. I think the Biden administration will put something together just because it's midterms. Now, getting over into the indicators, we had yield rates slightly down today and they rose at the end. And then, of course, we had the dollar up and the VIX down. But guys, we're about 2 hours away from the Ethereum merge. That's all I have for you, and you have a wonderful day.
Reels is going to get on its feet. We think TikTok eventually is going to get banned. Give it 2 years. It's not going to be around for the long haul.
Hold on. Take a step back. You just said, we think TikTok is going to be banned.
Yes. The reason is that ultimately begs a question of why is Facebook and its properties banned in China? The reason is that the Chinese government doesn't want influence of its people and how they think. I think that similar view is going to take hold in Washington. We're going into a presidential election. There's going to be themes that both sides of the aisle are going to rally around, and I think a separation from China theme is going to be a common theme. it does cause me just to step back and think why when the Chinese essentially, I'm not a conspiracist. I don't think they're tracking, TikTok tracks data and wants to figure out what an 18-year-old is doing in the afternoon. But I do think that they want to have some influence on how people think.
So your view is TikTok gets banned, Instagram pulls all of that traffic into Reels. Would you therefore be long Snap? Does that capture some of this? Does somebody else?
Probably. That's, by the way, that's not our sole investment thesis on Meta. I led with that because it is a point of differentiation for us, but that's not our investment thesis on Meta. I think they have 40% of the global internet population.
Right.
I think that they're going to figure out what's going on in terms of re-gearing their ad attribution after the iOS changes. So, but just to go back to the point about TikTok, I do think that does kind of benefit across the board. And I would just say this TikTok's going to be a political punching bag in the next 2 years.
Yep.
And I think Meta's going to be a beneficiary of it.
Within the first few minutes. So the first thing we'll be looking for is we've cut over from proof of work to proof of stake. Is the network producing blocks and blocks with transactions in them? So is it business as usual for Ethereum? Now, under the proof of stake network, we expect to see a block every 12 seconds like clockwork. It's not going to be random anymore. So if we are missing blocks, that indicates that the designated block proposer for that slot is offline. So yeah, they might be on the wrong fork, or they might have their client might have crashed, or they might just not be merge ready, one way or another. So we'll be looking for missing blocks, and we'll probably see a few because there's always a few people who haven't quite configured everything correctly. But as long as we're getting blocks more or less every 12 seconds, we're skipping, every third, fifth, 10th block, we'll be fine. The next thing we look for is participation rate. So under proof of stake, we have this new thing where validators vote on every block, and we have about 420,000 validators. So we're looking to see every 6 minutes, 420,000 votes. And if some of those validators are offline, we'll see a lower participation. So it normally runs at 99.5%, approximately on the beacon chain, the proof of stake chain we've been running for like 20 months now. If we see it drop below, say 70%, that's starting to be a cause for concern, but that would be a big chunk of the network, 30% of the network going offline. The final thing we're looking for is finalization. And again, this is new with proof of stake. What it means is that the network agrees that there's a certain block that it will never revert. It will never change history before that block. Proof of work doesn't really have this property. Normally, we finalize blocks after about 13 minutes. So we're looking to, within 13, 15 minutes or so, to have finalized the merge block so that is then set in stone. And we can, that's when we pop the champagne. That's when I'll be